Hey everyone, Tia Hopper here with Tia Hopper Consulting, and today I'm going to share with you my best tips and tricks for community management. So one of the things I'm really passionate about is online communities. This could be a Facebook group or private online community, whichever. The practices still apply to both. And I'm going to share with you my top 9 tips for managing a successful community. But before I want to do that, I just want to talk quickly about why groups are so important and why I think they are just really a great tool for you right now. So online groups usually are private or closed, and so they tend to have a smaller subset of people, and because people that are in that group typically share some common interest or passion or just shared interest around a product or service or lifestyle, groups tend to have more engagement. But why is that? I think it's because we are, first of all, we're in a group talking about things we want to be talking about. So often we are blasted with information and things are communicated to us that we don't even feel like we've given permission to. We haven't even opted in, why am I getting this information? And in a group, typically you belong to it for a reason, for a purpose. And so you're able to have conversations with people that you share liked interests with and want to be talking to. So that creates more authenticity, that creates more honesty, that just creates a place for more personal conversations. So groups are really great to have that shared online community experience, all right? So if you have a online group or you're thinking of starting your own community, here are my best tips for you to get started and to make sure that you have a group that has engagement, which is the E word that we're all seeking. So the first thing is to have a really clear and unique purpose. So if you think you want to have a group, why do you want to have a group, and how is that group going to be different than other groups that are already out there? Because if there's already a group just like yours, then why would they belong to your group over others? So it's really important to identify what that purpose is and to be able to communicate it clearly to anyone that you want to join your group. My second tip is to allow for organic opt-in. Now, of course, there is a little bit of a caveat to that. If your group is for someone who is a member of something or is paying for a service, then of course it makes sense for them to be in your group because they've already technically opted in. But if you're creating a group and you just want anyone and everyone who shares this same passion or interest as you to join it, then do not add them without their permission. It's the worst way to start a group. And it's also going to really hurt your engagement because people aren't going to want to be in there. The group's not right for them, so they're not going to be engaging with the information you're putting out. My third tip is to welcome new members. And with any type of group that you have, it just is a best practice that as soon as someone joins your online group, to welcome them. Send them a message. Just takes a few seconds, but it really helps get things off on the right foot. And also take it one step further. Ask them why they're in your group or what they'd like to learn. This can make sure that your group is providing what they're looking for. My fourth tip is to initiate discussion. So your job as the community manager is to start the dialogue, to start the conversation, and then to get people taking part in it. So the best way to think about this, one of my favorite examples, is to think about a campfire. So your job is to start the fire and then hopefully, just keep it going. So hopefully the other people around the campfire are contributing. And once the campfire kind of starts to go low or dwindle, you're just simply going to stir it, right? Add to the conversation, maybe plug something back in or bring somebody new into the conversation, or maybe you add a new log to the fire, right? So maybe you put a new post or discussion, start a new discussion within your community. So your job is to start the conversation. And then my next tip for you is to monitor and moderate, but not monopolize. So as the community manager, and this is really hard to do, your job is to monitor and make sure things are going well, make sure the conversation's happening, make sure that questions are being answered, and to moderate and make sure that everybody's following your rules, but never monopolize. Don't always be the first one to respond to every question, because then you leave no room for the rest of people in your community. So monitor and moderate, but don't monopolize the conversation, because then what's the point of a community? The next tip for you is to stay consistent, all right? So with everything you do, whether it's how often you post, whether it's the rules that you use to moderate your community, make sure that they're clear to you and that you do everything with consistency. That's going to help members of your community just know kind of how the rules of the community works, how to behave, and what the expectations are of the members. All right, my 7th tip for you is to be personal and authentic. So when you can really let your guard down and open up and share and be really personal and really let your personality and your purpose for the group come out, then the members of your community are going to see that, and they're also going to kind of let their guard down and be more personal and open up. And that's when the magic really happens in a community. But you have to start and lead by example. And that can be a little bit hard, but when you do, it will totally change the dynamic of your group. My 8th tip is to go live weekly. And of course, not all community platforms allow for this. Facebook groups are a great example. Of course, you can go live, but doing video of any kind is really great. But if you can go live weekly, that's going to get your face out in front of your members. It's going to be a time for dialogue and to just really open up the door of communication. And it's just the best way to create relationships and to be more authentic and personal within your group. So go live weekly or as much as you can. All right, my 9th tip for you to make sure that you have a rockin' community with lots of engagement is to recognize and reward your ambassadors or your power users. So whether you want to call them ambassadors or champions, whatever they are, you have a group of people within your community that are really engaging organically. Like they're the people that are posting, they're the people that are replying to comments, they're really enjoying your group. And so what you want to do is keep them engaged and reward them. This can look like monetary rewards, or it can just be as simple as send them a note and saying thank you. I really love having you in my group. Maybe you bring them into your group and interview them or feature them in some way. But rewarding and recognizing them will keep them engaged and also give other people in your group something to look to, a new role that potentially they could fulfill. So those are my 9 tips. I think groups are a really great way right now to connect with people, whether that's to grow your brand or to just connect with like-minded people. But whatever you're doing in the online space, there's probably a place for a group or an online community, and hopefully those tools will help you make sure that it's a place that everyone wants to be. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.